You're listening to Key Decisions Podcast, brought to you by REA Sothern, bringing you home. Find out more at reasouthern.ie.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Key Decisions. I'm Keith.
And I'm Ollie. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or just wondering what every house you like already has 20 people bidding on it, you're in the right place.
And today we're going to talk about everyone's favourite thing, money. So,
Your favourite thing?
well,
Mine is my dog.
I kind of like my dog as well.
Okay. Spending someone else's money?
Oh, well, I'm very
I like
good at
that. I love that one. And who better to talk about with today we are joined by Rory Hennessy from Milford Financial. Welcome, Rory.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
No
Great to see
problem.
you.
We're just going to tear strips off you now that we have you here. So,
Well, we're delighted to have you. The other four said no, but look, it's great.
Usually I'm in the lower end of the 20s, so
It's an improvement.
it's an improvement.
That's, I ring a shout out to Mike Hayden every time he rings me. I go, number 73.
That's right.
There's no way you have 72 other friends.
The great Michael Hayden.
Anyway, Rory spends his days helping people to solve their financial crises, be that mortgage or otherwise. So we figured to get him in here, probably give us some financial tips, tricks before you go speak to your mortgage advisor, when you speak to your mortgage advisor, and what you need to be doing, what you need not to be doing. So, yeah.
Off we go.
Do you want?
Off we go.
What are the key things that I'm glad you weren't around when I was looking to try and get my mortgage, because if savings I had probably about 4.5 cent.
Yeah.
So I suppose when you're going in, what are the key things that you be advising clients, and even just sort of potential red flags in the future that you say, look, don't go down this route.
Okay, so what we do is we kind of say to people, look, get your match fit for mortgage. Okay, so that's kind of self-explanatory. And what I'd always do is when I was a younger man, a very long time ago, and I bought my first car, I made the mistake of going looking for cars before I had, my finance ready for the car. I learned a valuable lesson.
Sean? Sorry, I just had this with my 19-year-old.
Yeah. But I learned a valuable lesson that was a bit cart before horse. So what I learned there was very quickly was that you line up your finance and you drive a hard bargain, and then you get your car, rather than the other way around, because So it's a bit like that with mortgages. So look, how do you get match fit for mortgage? What I would advise people to do is come in about 3 to 6 months out, okay? And we'll go through everything that they need to have ready, all the things, like your IDs, PPS number, proof of salary cert, all that stuff, right? Boring stuff, but it's needed. And then we'll sit down, we'll talk about what they want, what they think they can get, and then we kind of construct from there and decide who goes to what company, because all banks and mortgage lenders, they're different. And sometimes Keith could walk in and they could say, right, we'll give you 500,000 or we'll give you 200,000. Another lender could go, we'll give you 300,000, but the rate is lower. So it's different. They're broadly similar, but they do have little nuances, and that's where the advice comes in.
Yeah, that's I was got like the rates, because I'm paying an extortionate rate on my mortgage, but I was one of the last people, I think, to get a 98% mortgage from permanent TSB.
Okay.
And look, I don't. To be fair, I know everyone, when the crash came, everyone giving out about banks and all that. And like I went in, I knew what I was getting. I wanted the overhead and all that, and I did try and keep in constant communication. So when fell on rough times as well, thankfully I was able to pay interest only for a year or two, and get back on then after that.
Yeah.
But how many people would you see, when they even taken into interest rates and all that, would even know anything about it, or would realise how important it is?
I find that you kind of have one divide or the other. So some people are obsessed with the rate, and they sort of hyper focus on the rate. And these people generally, you'll find, they're not looking for a particular house, they just want a house. Okay, they just want to get in the property ladder and the rate. And these people are not so emotional, whereas you get someone else comes in and they've got an old house to see, needs a bit of work, I can fix it, you know what I mean? A little old cottage somewhere, and and those people are very emotional about what they want, and it's all about the home and that, so
I don't know in this room who that would apply to.
But so I mean, you have people who are kind of left and right brained, there's the people who go with the feelings and the people who go with the figures. So yeah.
And what sort of other pitfalls do you think you see people encounter, or that they don't even realise that they're doing wrong? And like you did say, 3 to 6 months out.
Yeah.
So like if they come into and they're looking to get a house next month, and what would you be looking through with a more fine-tooth comb that that lenders are gonna?
So the first thing I'd say is, like, people seem to think that just because you have the money that I can just go buy the house, but it's a process. So there's a legal side to it. There's the professional side that you guys deal with. There's the side we deal with, and you have to dial it in for each person. So you have to manage the expectations. But a couple of the pitfalls we'll start with that I'd say you should be looking for is, look, Paddy Power, big no-no, right? The banks look and see everything, and if they see Paddy Power, and sometimes, if you're doing the lotto too much,
I was actually going to say, I've actually seen that where the lotto is like a factor as well.
Yeah.
And people think, like, you think of betting, you like immediately think Boy Sports or Paddy Power or whatever, but people don't really factor in the lotto, and you're like, well, it still is.
It technically, and
if you're spending it, if you're doing 6 lines of the lotto with the quick pick or whatever you call it, the bonus on it, like
Powerball,
you're doing that every what is it? I don't know. I think it's nearly on every night now. So if you're doing that a few times a week.
You see, and that's a very astute observation, Olwyn, because they're looking for patterns.
Yeah.
And if they see someone doing the odd lotto, right, that's not a problem. But if you're doing the lotto a bit more than what they feel is, normal or average use, I mean, then they'll say, well, what else are they doing that we need to look out for? So patterns are a big thing. And regarding the deposits, right, a lot of people think they have to get their 10 or 20% deposit or whatever, but a lot of the time you have to figure in things like professional fees, okay? Yeah. So your legal fees, you have to, I'd always say to people to maybe put a cushion in on top of your deposit savings. So if you're looking at something, you need 30 grand of a deposit, maybe try and get 35 or 6 just to allow a bit of padding for that, because that's very important. And when someone is very tight with their figures, the last thing you need is to be finding, Jesus, I didn't allow for this. And then the other biggest pitfalls on the far side when you're ready to draw down are actually your insurances. Surprise a financial advisor telling you that, but it's a huge problem. And that is something that if you cannot get for health reasons or whatever, insurance, that could scarper the whole mortgage,
But again, that's the reason why we're doing this. Because they are things that people don't take into account. And that's why we're kind of picking on it, probably a bit of a strong word, but
I feel victimised.
Yeah, there we go.
If any financial advisors out there want to call us.
But no, this is why we're kind of calling on people like yourself to come in, because they are the things that people don't know. And I suppose the reason why we decided to do this in the first place was because when we're talking to your average person who's embarking on this for the first time, or not even, like even the second time, it's always very different. Or you may have bought before, but this is your first time selling. So there are things that you don't look at, or you don't like. It's you have to delve to find out this information. So that's why we're kind of putting it out there, and that people will.
And it's great to see that you're doing that, because it is badly needed.
It is, and it's not like we're not like. Well, I'd like a badge of honour for it, but no. In fairness, it was something that, like, when I came into this business, I was kind of going, like, there's so much to unpack. And
nuances and
there is, and it's things that you do have to like really, really look for to find out. So I can never understand why that is the case, and why it's not just general information that people, when they are going to buy a house, that they know what they need to do. Like it's not brain surgery. You're buying or selling a house, like insurances and stuff like that.
How many times have we come across then people come in and they're not loan approved, or they're not, they're looking for houses, and then they're going to go down, and like I can guarantee you most of them won't have that information close to hand, or won't be thinking, I have the money and that should be fine, and not looking, as you said, the patterns and different things like that. So it's I wouldn't, like, if I was buying again, I don't know what I gave my last financial advisor. He was an absolute rogue. He got me my house, so I don't know what was or wasn't.
I'd like to distance myself from the last financial.
I'm just trying to. We're the second least trusted industry in Ireland, so just trying to get us down to 3, to be honest, Rory.
Top three.
It's still on the podium.
That's why I'm employed for Rory.
But just for that moral middle ground.
It's very interesting that you raised that, because I know it's all in jest, but it is getting tighter and harder to get get the correct amount at the rate you want and things like that. And it is like there's a supply and demand issue. Look, we don't need to go into that. We all know there's not enough houses, and that's driving costs up as well. But I mean, even stamp duty, when you were saying about the second time buyers and that, some people don't allow for that, and the limits on first time. So it's just so complex and nuanced. And I'd always say, come in and have a chat. There's no charge for us anyways to come in and have a chat. We'll give you a little shopping list, we like to call it, of what you need, and then start the process. But don't fall in love with a house and then go into the likes of you guys and say we need, and then have you got a mortgage? No. Recipe for disaster.
It is, and it's so disappointing for people who because aside from even you've got people who come in and they'd be mortgage approved. You've got people who are cash buyers or whatever. So you've even got that kind of the pecking order in which you're going to, and there's no point in hiding it. There is. If you come in as a cash buyer and you're obviously going to be to the fore. Yeah. But then people who come in and they haven't even spoken to a mortgage advisor or a bank, and they don't quite understand why it is that we're going, well, we can't actually take a bid from you because, and they're like, yeah, but I'm going in to see them now. They don't understand what they're going to have to go home with their shopping list and, get their affairs in order. And even if you have your deposit saved, you have to show where that deposit came from,
of course,
or your ability to repay along with saving and whatever. If you're paying $4,000 in rent a month and you've got full deposit for something, you're going, well, your salary doesn't match up to this. So, there's all that as well. I'm assuming you're seeing that all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes figures don't add up, and sometimes people try to include their overtime as part of their basic or their commission. And a lot of the providers, they treat them slightly different, but generally they won't allow that because it's not guaranteed income as such as part of your. So they generally go with the basic, and some of them might allow a certain amount. But the problem is then, you're looking at a 5-bed detached house when really you should be looking at a 3-bed semi or something, So again, it's managing expectations, not just from our side, but you guys would probably see that a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't come across cash buyers looking for mortgages and that, but it's.
And what then? I'll give you your little 2 minutes of fame here now. But what services would you give that would be different to the lenders, the banks, and all that out there? Okay. So I mean, I do. Personally, speaking, I've had very good dealings with a lot of the banks and stuff in Carlow and all that, but I can see more of a drive when I hear somebody is getting financial advice or has a financial advisor, a mortgage broker or whatnot. All of a sudden, they are on my radar a lot more than somebody else, purely because you guys get paid when things go through. It's same to ourselves when the sale closes. So I know, whereas the guys in the bank, and again, it's my purely own perception, where they're getting paid regardless if it's a successful outcome or not.
Correct.
So what do you think is the difference between your profession and obviously the lender institutions?
Okay. Yeah, good point. That's a very good point. I worked I'm in this industry 20 years, so I've got my own business now, obviously. But for a long time, I worked for a large bank / insurance company, and I was actually dropped into the banking network for them as well. So I had seen all different areas, and what I've come to the conclusion is that it's as simple as this: a financial broker, for example, and we talk about that because that's what I am, and I can talk on it, but it works for you. So if you guys come in here, I'm not working for a bank. That's number one. I'm working for you, the client. Okay. Second thing is, I'm not tied to one thing. So whether it's life insurance on your mortgage, otherwise known as mortgage protection or whatever, I can get you the best policy that's suitable for you, but I can also get you the best price by searching the market and that. And again, when you go into a bank, it's a bit less personal, the service. And I'm talking both as a previous person who worked in a bank and having done a mortgage through a bank one time as well. It's less personable. That's just the way it is. They'll offer you their products at their price. Yeah. Okay. So it's like if you go into a place with a menu and the menu just says, look, we only sell Bird's Eye products here and the prices are X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? Whereas you come to me, I say, right, we've Bird's Eye, we've Green Isle, it's near lunchtime. I'm thinking about food, so. but that's what it is. So we work for the client to get the client the best.
Lip smacking going.
No. I was very disappointed. Didn't hear anything about red meat. So I was waiting for T-bone or Phyllis or
stop.
But
that's the biggest thing. And another huge issue is when people run into trouble or a case is a little less square peg, as we say, in a square hole. Right. What we do is we'll be able to work harder to try and shave off those edges. You know, whether it's issues around your health or getting a life policy, or whether it's issues around, you know, underwriters or mortgages, we have the relationship where we can go and we can try and, you know, we've a bit more leeway because we're smaller, leaner and more agile. So I think we'd offer a more personable, tailored service. You know, as I always say, the quality, value and service. That's what Milford Financial Services is all about, you know.
Okay.
So we'd love to see anyone who want to come in and get a shopping list from us and have a chat. And
I'll be there for the tasting menu.
I'm telling you, fish fingers and burgers.
I'll bring my son, so
yeah. Chicken nuggets are an upcharge. So we'd love to see people come in and get that from us. I mean, we're only on the end of the phone, so you know.
Yeah.
And then I suppose leaning back into what we're experiencing from our end, the likes of houses that will have difficulty in terms of insurance, and in terms of, I mean, we've plenty of issues. One of them, I suppose, you look at the mill race, which is now nearly designated as a flood risk.
Floodplain, yeah.
We have another place that was built. I know I was talking to you about it before, and it is a Nordic style timber frame and all that. And they had an issue with one lender, but now another lender is happy enough to go ahead because, again, the lady who purchased it originally got it through mortgage.
Yes.
Got all that. So those type of pitfalls, I suppose, with the likes of you, will navigate them obviously a little bit better, or far more better than a banking institution. That it's just our policy is no in this, and that's
correct.
that.
Yeah.
So have you come across many of those, or if you even want to use, because I know I did email you about it, and you came back to me on it. So.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you know, it's the old thatched roof, non-standard construction. I mean, that's Garlic to a vampire when it comes to lenders, and particularly insurance companies. Like, I mean, I had a personal experience one time where I rang a place and my address was such and so hill, right? I was telling you about this. So I was on a hill, right? And the guy said, no, we can't quote you. And I said, what's the reason behind that? And he goes, you're on a floodplain. And I said, it'd want to be an apocalyptic level of a flood, you know.
We've always wanted a coastline in Carlow.
Yeah, and a beach. But and the guy was like, no, I can't. I just have to. It was computer says no, you know. And it wasn't his fault. He was doing what his system was telling me. So I rang another crew, and they were like, yeah, that's no problem. I got the insurance, like, you know. So I would also say, if you come across anyone that's kind of giving you any of that, shop around, do a bit of research yourself as well, if that's what you're told, because they have, you know, they're using all their maps and whatnot, and sometimes problems can be fixed, etc. And again, when it comes to the mortgage protection, a lot of people don't realise there's rider benefits on them, which are like extra little kind of add-ons that you can get. And sometimes, you know...
Well, can you elaborate on that? Because I'm not even...
Yeah, I can. So, like, for example, one company will give you a very holistic kind of suite of help if you break your arm, or if you need speech therapy, or you've had a heart attack, and they'll put you in touch with a nursing company called Red Arc, and Red Arc will ring you every week and see you all right. And, you know, I mean, I've benefited from it personally myself. My VHI actually didn't cover me. I had to go up in the hospital to get something done, and my mortgage protection actually did, because I had the presence of mind to ring them and ask. And they were absolutely brilliant, and I saved myself €630 on the day because it was only covered in this particular hospital overnight.
Covered your yearly budget then for fish fingers.
I'm telling you, absolutely. And buns.
And buns.
But, like, I mean, so, you know, and then there's other providers who will give you access to a DigiDoc. So a lot of people say, you know, your Lay, your VHI, etc., other providers available are great, and, you know, but we have to wait, and I got a call 2 days from now at 3 a.m. So if you go to check out some of, not all the mortgage providers, some of them, the mortgage protection providers, they will allow you to actually have access to a DigiDoc as well. It's the very same principle.
That's cool, yeah.
And you usually get it a lot sooner at a more reasonable hour, just because of the sheer numbers. So there's lots of things like that, and some of them will give you stuff like the first month free and bits and pieces, but it's always about matching the right person to the right policy, but also the right provider. And I'm big on this, because there's certain health areas that you could end up paying more for or be declined with one company, where the others mightn't be so harsh with this particular thing, and that's where the broker earns their salt. Yeah.
I mean, we are probably coming across as bank fashion, I think. This is the second time we may have mentioned it. We have distanced ourselves from bank bashing because we're not. But it is just that personal experience, and especially in the case of people who haven't done this before or people who are nervous about certain things, that they do have that hand holding and just guide you through the process from start to finish, not just like, intermittently. And I suppose it's kind of akin to what we're trying to do as well. Yeah. And when you get that, you're working with a broker and you're working with an agent who's like proactively doing it, you're a lot more likely to get the sale over the line.
It's like the fire triangle, Olwyn.
It is very
but that's you do need synergy, and you
actually do.
But I do, and I mean, I agree. I think people though are very, very money conscious and going, oh well, I might be able to save a bit more money doing this, doing that, or going the cheapest person I can go to. But I wouldn't have been as nuanced in a lot of that you just explained there. And I would have looked, okay, what is the most amount of money I can get?
Yes. And
okay, your rate is 5.5% or 6% our interest. And I was like, oh, yeah, great. Or I'd have something at say 450,000, not the 500, but all of a sudden my interest rate 3.5, and I'm going, I prefer the 500,000 than the 450.
Yeah.
And not even thinking it through. Whereas obviously your own profession would go, as you just said, you're trying to match people up and go, well, Keith, look, I've been looking at you here now, and you're spending an awful lot of money on OnlyFans. So if you get, I don't know if that's going to fly. Oh Christ, I'm still married. I keep forgetting she hasn't left me yet. But like
on next week's episode, legal advice.
I should have asked Nicola last week.
Back in here now.
But things like that, and I just think people, they don't spend the money in the right places at times. So
that's true.
Getting the right financial, we've been looking at our industry, and people are quoting lower prices to sell houses, and you're going, well, this is what we're offering. Same like yourself, like, okay, you go to the bank, you're not going to be paying up as much as I'm or paying up as much for the advice that I'm going to be giving, but I am doing that hand holding. We're going from A to B. Yes, you mightn't get the highest mortgage you'd want, but I'm going to make sure it's the best terms and in the best everything. It's got to be there.
Quality.
It's for you. It's not for the bank. It's not. You're not going to be a stat in my spreadsheet or anything like that. It's you're literally in there, and
that's a very good point. It's about quality. And again, like I mean, people would say to us, like, how can you compete with a large institution or a bank? I'll tell you how, because we have agencies with everyone basically, and we there can leverage their power. So it doesn't matter whether it's a small firm with 3 or 4 or 5 people working versus a national bank or whatever, so that's the first thing. And the second thing is, like, a lot of the time we not only come in with the goods that are needed to get your insurance, but we can come in cheaper a lot of the time than the bank. Like, we do offer the market lowest prices.
Which is a common misconception, where people think that they will get a lower price by going to a bigger company.
Bigger company, bigger margin, bigger overheads.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But it's kind of similar. We have, as Keith was saying, we've seen that. And it wasn't until we broke it down. There was a lady, she had bought a house through us, and then she sold it through us as well. And she had a couple of other agents down with her. And we went down to meet her, and whatever the price we quoted her, and she was like, she was kind of taken aback by the price, and she was saying that's a lot more than the other agent quoted. But she was still leaning towards that other agent because they quoted her 1% rate. So we went back to the office, and I broke it down and said, right, well, if we sell your house at this amount at our fee, and then the other agent sells it at that amount for their fee, you're coming up, it was something like 22,000 more that she was coming out with. So when you break it down, like, it's actually that 0.5% or whatever, 0.35 percentage doesn't make a whole lot of difference when you're paying your agent. But if that agent is working and hand-holding and getting you through the process and getting a higher figure, and then also not even just a higher price, but the experience where you can sit back and you are confident that, like, your agent is working for you and making those phone calls and trying to find out that issue before it becomes an issue. Can't put a price on it.
It's very true. I come across that occasionally. Sometimes random people just ring you up, and it could be from anywhere in the country, and they go like, I have a pension, and there's $3,000 in it, and I'm getting 0.05%, and and you're going, okay, right, can you do any better? And like, the answer is no, because usually when stuff is sold at that low a kind of a rate, it's sold basically as is, and a lot of the time the backup service is not there. So it's what you would call trail commission, and what we do as financial planners, and that, like, you'd see it on pension investment savings. So, like, I mean, that is a very true point, because if something is performing poorly and there's no service on it, but it's a cheaper rate, is that actually a better deal than paying a bit more, having someone actively on your team, you know, trying to make it do better and coming out with a far higher return? And it's the same with what you guys do. Sorry, the whole thing is, can we sell the house? How quickly can we sell the house? You know, that's it. Ease of process.
Efficiency.
That's so true. That's our shout out to ourselves for doing what we do so well. Because
shouldn't have done it so many ways. Just can't pat myself in the back. No, thanks for that. It is. It's I'm hoping that you know, our other 9 listeners, you're just after pointing out that you're one of the others. I'm taking something away from this, because it is. It's.
You promised me some fish fingers after this.
No, we have coffee. I can get you a free coffee. So, moving on, and I suppose. We have, if walls can talk, do you want to do? I do.
No, this has become your segment. I told you that last time. Well, like, I mean, how many walls have I talked to? I mean, like, literally not even a year qualified. So, come on, you have all the wall talking stories.
You should have so many stories by now. So,
I can make up stories about you if you want. Or you can take
moving
this,
swiftly on.
Do you remember that time
you still have to do the... No, you can't say anything. It's next Wednesday you're doing the law thing with Shannon here, isn't it? Yeah. Just making sure what we can or can't say.
Get everything lined up.
Yeah, I'm not. I refuse to do it, because if I find out what I can say, I'll just will say. So,
and you won't believe me, or trust me when I say, hey, turns out you can't say that. So.
That happened years ago, though. Surely it's immune. But we were doing. We were selling 7 properties over in Glenveru in Athy. It was a relatively new estate. It's probably about 20 years now, all at this stage. But I went over and we had this fine big 5-bed detach. That the owner, it wasn't the builder. This guy bought it off the plans and all that, and built it out. But he put a lovely finish on it. It was a show house. And it was meant to be open on the Saturdays 2 to 4. I went over there and I opened that, and had the keys for the other place as well. People wanted it because there was different style of houses. So opened up, the guys came early. It was about quarter to 2, so I let them in and all that, and chatting away to the wife upstairs and showing her, very impressed with the size and things. And the husband came up then afterwards. He's got, there's something not right with the toilet downstairs. And I was going, nothing's connected to the mains. I was like,
dear God.
There's no water. Did you not? No. And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, what do you mean? Oh yeah. And he was, I mean, as we got to the top of the stairs, the stench, and I was like, oh dear God. I 2:15. He said the show house hasn't even opened, and I knew, like, I talked to the 3 people that were coming down.
And Jim Carrey.
Wasn't even Carey in our house.
No, and I mean, the guys went, and it was a good 15-20 minutes later. And I had every window open, and I just thought, I was like, by the way, that wasn't me.
I like how you made up that story like that. It's very impressive.
It's a likely story.
Anyone have toilet paper? It was atrocious, and I'll never forget. Like, we had to say to the owner, so the next week the show was, I mean, every toilet it was sponsored by duct tape.
Yes,
it was just all the things, and then big signs: do not use.
I bet you never did it again, Keith.
Well, he never got the sinks, did he? But I mean, I was just red. I was probably about 26 or 27 at the time, and like I looked like a retrograde. Some people coming in going, yeah, I'm sure, and I was like, red face going, I swear, and just trying to open up, fan things out and all sorts. But
anyone who heard you on the first episode of the podcast is not believing that story.
Well, that happened in Madrid, and what happens in Madrid stays in Madrid. But yeah, that was horrific. That was possibly the most embarrassed I was. It's something I've never done myself.
Horrendous. I have had it with kids where the parents haven't said it to me, and you're just like, he just used the bathroom. You go, he did not. What? You're going to Jesus Christ.
No, it is. It's appalling. And the amount of people, and especially with kids, and they'll come in and they're like, little Johnny just used it. And I go, right. So you're closing up, you're going down, and they're just like just pee everywhere. Yeah.
You're going, this
how
has been mind opening.
Oh no, it's
you're now gonna hit up all new builds around Carlow area.
I'll never look at a duct taped toilet in the show house the same again.
Oh, if those duct tape toilets could talk.
Oh no, it was honestly it was just horrific, and I wouldn't mind, like, if I did it, there probably would have been a sense of pride, because the stench, it would gag a maggot. It was disgusting. Doors open, windows open. I honestly, I think back to it now. All I could have, because the others weren't show houses. This was the only show house we had. They were all builder finish, and I probably should have just locked up and gone, sorry, I lost the key for that. But look, I'll show you that. You wanted a 5-bed detached. Let's look at the apartment here, 2-bed apartment.
Oh my God, you know what I'm going to do?
I know a good financial advisor. He said you can't afford this.
Here, lads, all the other estate agents in town, any of you have new builds, I'm going to send my kids around at the weekend.
Listen, I mean, REA, Southern,
we are
rock and roll estate
lads, I swear to God.
Just imagine seeing you guys here. Brian, are you ready?
Go, you've got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Lactose intolerant. Here's more milk. We've got another 3 estates to hit. Anyway.
If anyone happens to be listening to this and you can't see it, I've been knocking on the window for the past 3 minutes while this story was going on at them, trying to let me out. You know?
Yeah. So that was my and it's it happened to me, not for me. I suppose that was grand. My wife is probably currently sending in messages. So,
listen, Helen is probably collating a list. No,
we have 3 bathrooms, and apparently it's still not enough in our house. There's just we can't get planning for the outhouse. It's grand.
Get yourself a nice spade. Fucking spade. It's the right time of year.
The greenest garden. That guy's definitely using the hose. No, I swear to God.
I hope those are fake plants behind you. They're
thriving. Going down a route I actually hadn't really anticipated. But anyway.
I blame Rory.
Yeah, clearly. It's
all on me. Not my fault.
Moving swiftly on, I think it's about time now that we move to the before you buy and the before you sell segment. Mm-hmm. So this is our kind of quick fire round. So before you buy, I suppose my tip before you buy, coming back to this one, mine was I've nearly got mortgage approval. So I think we probably covered that off. But is there such thing as I've nearly got mortgage approval?
There is. Oh. Yeah, there is. I've nearly got mortgage approval. So, for example, sometimes people say, I have approval in principle, right? Now, approval in principle is subject to everything being in order.
It's written on.
I am
exactly.
So happy.
Alwyn,
so happy you brought this up. Yes, this is the biggest thing that people just assume. Oh, yeah, no, I've definitely get this.
It's the bane of everyone's life. Yeah. It's just so.
It's soul-crushing and unfair. They're just calling it out as what it is.
But it's unfair to buyers and sellers, because the buyer could be under the impression, I've got mortgage approval, but you haven't. You got approval in principle, and then the person selling the house could be in a chain to buy somewhere else, and the whole thing can get a little derailed there. And then next thing, your mortgage a deal is practically done, you know. And then next thing, your mortgage provider comes back and says, "We're actually going to need an extra this and that," and then you can provide the this, but you can't get the that. And next thing, there's a delay. Okay, so that's a huge. Huge issue, yeah.
You've got, like, if you're talking to a first-time seller and perhaps you've got an offer from somebody who's mortgage approved that's higher than your potential cash offer, or somebody whose sale is just about to close or whatever, and like that person is wondering why you're advising that they're going to take the other offer rather than the higher offer with the mortgage approved person, and you're going, you know.
Thanks, Ali. You literally just stolen my before you sell.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the offers, all right.
I told you about talking at me out there before we came in. I told you I'd get you back. So it didn't take long, did it, huh?
Revenge. Thanks.
But no, actually, like it is that thing. Like where you know, there's so many more layers, I suppose, to what we have to do, where, you know, you're not just going in and going, okay, we got you the highest price there. Congratulations, let's just run with that. You know,
it's a lot more nuanced.
You have to delve a little bit deeper than that. And so there we go. Keith, over to you for before you sell.
Anybody had any more straws that I can clutch at here?
Feel like
Wurzel Gummidge.
I was just going to say, get your duct tape and tape up your toilets before the viewing starts.
I mean, it's I suppose a little bit in the same line as for sellers that have a price point that they're comfortable. That's and like not just quoting something. And I mean, everyone laughs. So we had a house in and chatting away to the sellers and like, what are your expectations? $1 million. Like, we were all laughing except for one person. I was like, oh God, please tell me you're only messing. But and it will come across, I suppose, as you say, like people when they think you're selling a house for say 300,000, and they're going, okay, great, I'll pay the auctioneer fee, and this is what I have, or I have the mortgage outstanding. This is what I have to pay. But they don't take into account the other fees that are incurring and anything else in that. So just to have a price point that you should be agreeing with your auctioneer, going, I can sell at this. And then the other flip side of it is be comfortable. Like, it's people always, how many times have we gotten in, we go up at the asking price. Now we always try and price to sell. The feedback we've gotten was people were annoyed going in at 300,000. I'll give you 300,000. They're actually looking for 330. And I go, for God's sake, just go in at 3. So
I had that last week. Where that couple, the first couple out in Ireland last week. And they were like, and how much will actually buy it? And I said to them, well, I explained to him that we priced to sell, and he was like, he actually threw his arms. He was like, oh, thank God. He said the amount of houses that we're after viewing, and he said, you're asking, what's a realistic figure that'll buy it, and they're like, well, they're actually looking for whatever, and it could be 10, 20, 25, 30 grand more than what they're advertising at, which is just, it's doing no one any favours.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
It's horrible,
we always, we build our whole model is built on that speed and efficiency and trying to as much transparency as we possibly could. So you're going in, you have that figure in your head that you're capable of selling. We'll always try and get you more, 100%. We're fighting for the client tooth and nail, and we'll generally, you'll more than likely have a 2-week grace. But if somebody comes in with that offer, and be it a cash offer at the asking price, that's when, as Ollie had pointed out earlier, you'd be looking through the loan approved or it's a very, very good offer. You're looking nearly 100% of the time that people are going, first offer after coming in, the asking price, they'll think of two things going, first of all, there's probably more people out there looking for it, and second of all, has my auctioneer actually priced the property? And we've gone out of our way going, no, we've priced it to sell. A person will accept that, be happy with that, and go in. So that's my thing, is from a seller's point of view, even talk to your auctioneer. They've obviously the experience in there. To be honest, all the auctioneers in Carlow are good salespeople. What we do is in the background would be different than the rest of them. But talk to them, get the price point, make sure it's agreeable, and then if your first bid comes in is the asking and all the stars are aligned, don't say no to it and try for more. Or if you are hoping to, see out the rest of it, if there is other viewings, then honour those viewings, and at the end of that last viewing, make your decision. So that would be my...
you did well there, Keith. Well done. Good recovery. Fish fingers for you after.
I'm going to have to come up with something now for next week.
No, I don't think you will when Eleanor gets her hands on you later on your grant.
Actually, we may get somebody in the industry about rentals, because I think my house key's not going to work anymore. Don't cut me off the internet though.
What, for your OnlyFans? Jesus Christ.
Let's not forget the rent a room scheme. I'm sure someone is willing to do that to get them over the line with a mortgage. I'm renting a room, and that's actually a good point as well, because you can rent a room. You just have to be very careful that you don't go 1 cent over what the limit is, because then you're liable for tax and all of it. But you can use the rent a room if you're genuinely going to rent a room.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So.
Helen, she'll get the 14 grand off, renting a room. Tax free, she'll be perfect.
Okay, well, takes us to our next segment, which is always fun.
Or you could be double jobbing here now.
You're double jobbing here now. So, here we go. Good man. This is our Price is Right. So behind you on a screen.
Yes.
I went easy on you today, lads. So this is a 3-bed, 3-bath. C1 rated house. It's a semi, obviously. 96 square metres. And it is located...
Is it Ardley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Castlemarmot?
Yeah. No. South Carlow. I'd say near Greg Namana.
All right. Okay.
You're such a dick. It is Castleturn. Oh, look, I swore.
I know because I used to live in that house. No, I didn't, John.
Yeah. I'm actually selling it through a far better auctioneer. Yeah.
Yes. So what's the question? Is how much?
Yeah, we're doing a valuation here.
I even threw in the extra couple of
three.
interns.
I'll give you a wide enough berth. 320 is 350.
I'm gonna say this has a sort of hallmark, so 279. It's probably a silly figure of 279 instead of 280 type job. So I'm gonna go with 279.
Rory, you're going with, sorry?
Yeah, I'll go with. I could be pushing it going over 3, but I think about 320.
I know they're going to ring you to sell it for them now, but anyway.
Yeah, I'd say. Look, I mean, probably around the 3. We'll say 3, will we?
Okay, you're closer. 295.
I was actually going to say that. I didn't want to insult whoever's selling the house. So.
I'm close. He's 320. Oh, hang on. Did I get a second go?
Yeah, go on.
It's a lot of house for that.
295.
Oh, amazing. Oh, my God. Keane,
to be fair, though, like, it is a lot of house for that. Because
it is. It's gorgeous. It's actually beautiful.
The facade is well maintained. Garden is nice and tidy.
Yeah.
Driveway. You know what I mean?
Shut up, Roy.
Yeah.
You're talking me out of a job here.
I'd buy it myself.
It's just a fun piece. And well done. Yeah, you just qualified yourself as an auctioneer. So, congrats.
I had a bit of help.
I was closer.
When you came in the second time?
No, the first time.
You said 279.
Yeah, that's 16 grand off. Like,
I
I know you're.
300.
Yeah.
You said 320.
You said that first and then.
I revised my price in light of market forecasting. And now we're going to see how much does 100 grand life cover over 10 years cost.
I've got it.
Yeah.
No, well, that's...
Did I put in there that the loser buys fish fingers? I'd said coffee, but it's fish fingers.
Fish fingers, perfect. I know a guy.
The official food of the Key Decisions podcast. You know, I watched a thing one time that said actually if you buy the unbranded one, the own brand version of a lot of these fish fingers, there's actually more actual fish in them, believe it or not.
The unbranded or the off-brand?
The unbranded ones, yeah, and they're way cheaper and there's a lot more fish in them, actual fish. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Amazing.
I can't remember the last time I had a fish finger.
Oh, I love fish fingers.
Yeah.
You ever throw a fish finger in a sandwich, bit of ketchup?
Unreal.
No, see, I was brought up properly.
Well, I think you'll find judging by the two
you ate the frozen.
you weren't.
Look, it's a nice pop.
Yeah. Me there.
Being absolutely dragged up with your fish finger sandwiches, I will stand over that.
Yeah,
so we had way more fun.
If our
brought up properly.
If my evening meal table wasn't set out with at least 4 knives and forks on either side, do
you have a little bell that you ring when they bring the food in and between courses? You can.
Well, no, I had a guy who used to ring the bell.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, Harry.
No, that man. I mean, I went through so much father tax with him. Every ice cream I had was only. I mean, I realised what 23% fat was, and I only ate 23% of that ice cream. I was like, get you.
Well, actually, I had that last night in the car. I was collecting Sean from work, and he brought me out an ice cream. He's very good. He's a very good son. He's the favourite son. But I had the dog with me to collect him. And the kids were wondering, Mommy, how is it that if I asked you for a bit of ice cream, like I wouldn't get it, and you are literally sharing ice cream off a spoon with the dog? And I was like, touche.
Yeah.
The dog doesn't talk back.
The dog doesn't talk back. I mean, if you also never looked at me the way the dog looked at me when I got that ice cream. So there you go. Anyway, yeah.
We'll wrap this up. Thank you very, very much
Thank you,
for
folks.
coming in.
Fun.
And so
you see, there was no need to panic and worry. I mean, that panic attack before you came in was completely unfounded.
Those pills that I took with no label on, which you gave me, did a great job.
Yeah.
And they must be making me crazy because I'd like to just give a little offer out for all the listeners, all 10.
Hey, 9, you're one of them.
Yeah, if you want to come in to me, I'll take a look at your requirements for mortgage protection, or if you have it already, I'll look at it. But I will give you the cheapest price I can give you on the market. And a discount of up to 15%. So, and that's all you have to do is mention the Key Decisions podcast.
Excellent. And where can they catch you then, Rory?
They can catch me on Milford Financial Services Limited on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. and we're getting a bit of work done on our website at the moment, but it's milfordfinancialservices.ie.
Any phone number or keep that
phone
private?
number is, I give you, I can't remember. I'm reticent to give out my mobile.
Goddamn tablets.
Hit me up on the website.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Emil.
You've been listening to Key Decisions podcast, brought to you by REA Southern, bringing you home. Find out more at reasouthern.ie.